Hello, everyone. My guest today is Ashok Santhanam. He is the co-founder and CEO of Fog Logic. Before this company, he served as CEO of Bristlecone and Senior VP of Worldwide Field Operations at Epiphany. Earlier, he was founder and CEO and chairman at Inventa Technologies. He has a BS from IIT Madras and an MBA from Harvard Business School. Ashok, are you ready to take us to the top?
Sure.
All right. What is Fog Logic and how do you guys generate revenue? What's your business model?
Well, we're a SaaS company, and we started 3 years ago with a vision to transform the way IT operations, particularly managing enterprise applications, happens by leveraging the power of AI and machine learning.
Okay, so 2015 was launch date?
2016 launch date was actually end of 2017.
No, of the company. When did you create the company?
Well, the official start of the company was actually in early 2016,
okay.
Although we incorporated earlier than that.
Okay, great. And then kind of try and break down the tech for us. What does Fog Logic do?
Yes, so it's a cloud-based application that today, we target enterprise applications, and our initial use case is the SAP application landscape in enterprises. And what we essentially do is pull operational data, log messages, operational metrics, things of that nature from these SAP applications and the related infrastructure stack. So the databases that SAP runs on and the infrastructure that SAP runs on, we pull all of that, send it up into the cloud, where we analyze the data continuously using our AI algorithms. So the basic idea is that in most complex enterprise applications, they don't run incident-free. There's invariably times when systems go down and people are all hands on deck trying to react to these things. And of course, when the system is not available, it means business doesn't get done. And so the idea here is that rather than waiting for something to go down and then having a bunch of people trying to figure out what went wrong by looking at all of this data and analyzing it manually, we do that on the fly in real time.
Okay, but is it predictive or is it a lagging indicator? It tells you why something happened after the fact, or it prevents it from happening?
Well, it doesn't yet prevent it from happening. That's where we're going. Actually, where we're going is ultimately to automatically fix problems that happen before they occur, right?
Okay, and give me an example of an application or company that uses this currently.
Well, Varian Medical would be an example of a company that uses it today, and so they're a $2.5–3 billion a year company making cancer medical equipment.
Okay, and what's something that you're monitoring for them, where if they break, it's something you have to do a report on to make sure it doesn't happen again?
Well, you actually don't have to do a report on it. So it's they use SAP to run their whole business, right? And so all their manufacturing plants, all their finance systems, all of those systems run on SAP. And so if something were to go wrong in any one of these SAP applications, they have a team of people whose job it is to keep these things running. They all have to sort of get involved and figure out what happened, why did it happen, what went wrong.
Does the CTO lead this group, Ashok?
The CIO.
Okay, so you're selling directly into the CIO?
Selling into the CIO's organization. Typically in large companies, the reporting to the CIO will be a group called the IT infrastructure or the IT operations group, headed by a VP. Those are the people that would use what we
okay. And give me a sense here. On average, what's a company like this medical company going to pay you per year for access to your technology?
Well, it's obviously we can't disclose what they specifically pay us.
I did ask them. I said on average.
Yeah, in general, a company that's let's just say that the annual subscription revenue that we get can range from sort of the tens of thousands of dollars at the low end to the hundreds of thousands of dollars per year at the high end.
Okay. Again, just because we don't have time to go down every cohort, that's why I'm asking for an average. So is it fair to say maybe an average might be $100,000 per year?
Between 100 and 150K per year.
Okay. Okay. Very good. And can you give me a sense of the size of what that company paying that average might look like? How many apps are they running?
It's hard to isolate it to a size of company. It really depends on the complexity of their SAP landscape. But
measured by what?
Measured by the number of production systems, the number of application servers.
Okay, so how many do they typically have if they're paying you $100,000 a year?
Depends on their business, right? Because a manufacturing company might have a different setup than a financial service.
Yeah, Ashok, my question is, someone paying you $100,000 per year, whatever your pricing metric is, I don't care what it is. It sounds like it's number of SAP apps. So whatever it is, if they're paying $100,000 a year, about how many apps are they running?
they would typically be running somewhere in the sort of 20 to 25 production systems, roughly.
Okay. And is there anything else you're pricing against between number of production systems?
It's a formula that involves the number of production systems, the total number of application servers that they run on, and the number of SAP licensed users that they have. Right. So each of these is a proxy for the complexity of the SAP system landscape. I wish it was as simple as saying it's based on the customer's revenue, but unfortunately, it's not.
Well, no, I mean, by the way, what you just articulated is very straightforward and simple. You have three pricing axes, one around number of production systems, one around number of application servers, and one around number of SAP licensed users.
That's right.
So help me understand what your inside sales teams look like, because I want to understand how they're driving expansion revenue. So what's your team size today total?
We have a team of 4 people in sales.
Your total team size?
Total team size. Are you talking about
what is your total? What is the total team size of the whole company?
Yeah, it's about 32 people.
Okay, 32. And 4 of them are some form of sales, marketing, or onboarding?
4 of them are in sales, and then we have a couple of people in marketing as well.
Okay, very cool. And where's everyone based?
We have a customer success team of 3 to 4 people.
Okay, where's everyone based?
Everyone in sales, marketing, customer success is based here in Sunnyvale. We have about half the development team in Sunnyvale, and the other half of the development team is in Eastern Europe.
Okay. Quick question, because this is a big debate right now amongst enterprise applications selling, again, $100,000 plus ACVs. Are your customer success reps incentivized via quota on the expansion revenue they drive?
No, not today.
They're not. Okay, even as a group, they're not. There's no bonus pool as a group.
Not for customer success. Well, so I mean, everyone's obviously incentivized by equity in our company, and so to the extent that our customers.
Shock, that's nice of you, by the way. You give everybody equity, huh?
Yes, we do.
All right, I think you're going to have a bunch of job applications
in Silicon Valley, isn't it?
No, you'd be shocked. I know some founders that don't need to use equity to keep talent. They have other creative ways to keep it. But by the way, I like what you're doing. I think it's great to give equity out.
Yeah. So it's too early in the game for us to get into sort of bonus type incentive programs because we don't know what we know and what we don't know yet. We're still discovering that as we go along. As things sort of settle down and we have some history to learn from, then it becomes easier to start putting those.
How have you capitalized the business? Bootstrapped or have you raised?
No, we raised. We did a small seed round to get started, and then we did a Series A in 2017.
Okay, so how much raised to date?
$7 million.
7. Okay, and all that was priced equity or any convertible notes or debt?
The original seed was convertible note, which converted at the time of the Series A, and the Series A was priced.
Yeah, and how aggressive are you being today with that capital? I mean, are you burning capital today, or are you at break even or profitable?
Well, we are burning capital, but I wouldn't say we're aggressive. This is I've done this a couple of times before, as has my co-founder, and so we know that there are rapids that we can't see up in front of us, and so we were careful about spending cash.
How do you? What is a smart way to manage runway? So right now, if you're burning X amount, you have Y left in the bank. How much bigger is Y than X?
Well, I mean, that changes from month to month, obviously, because you have, we'd like to keep a minimum of sort of 6 to 9 months of runway available.
Yep. You're talking of net burn, not gross burn.
Net burn, yes.
Yeah. Very good. Okay, good. And when was that last, you said the last round was raised what month?
April of 2017.
Okay, interesting. So you're raising capital now or you're selling to your biggest competitor. Which one is it?
We hope to be raising capital a little bit later in the year.
Okay, very good. And what are you waiting for? Is there a certain metric you're waiting to hit?
Well, we'd like to have some examples of customers who've increased their adoption rate of FogLogic. They typically start with a smaller footprint of SAP systems, and we'd like to see that grow. We'd obviously like to add a few more accounts. There's some channel type relationships we're working on. We'd like to have a couple of those in place. So, it's a mix of things, and there's no one right answer. But when it feels right, we'll start having it.
And Ashok, how many folks are you supporting today? How many customers to date?
It's less than a dozen today.
Okay, got it. So this is very much high touch enterprise selling.
It's high touch enterprise selling, and it's still very much in the early traction.
Yeah. So if I take, let's say, less than a dozen, let's say 10 customers at that kind of 100,000 kind of ACV price point you said earlier. I mean, you guys are you flirting with $1 million in AR right now?
We'll be, we plus or minus. We're not too far off.
I mean, do you think you'll hit it like in January? It'll be February or March, somewhere in Q1, or no, it's further down the line?
Unfortunately, Nathan, I can't share those kinds of details. But let's just say that we will end this year at less than 5 in ARR, and somewhere along the way, we'll reach a point where we think it's kind of
and you got to get past 1 first.
Yeah. So, but and it's an open question what constitutes Series B, because people look at a number of different things. ARR is one of them, but quality of customers and headroom for account growth, a variety of different things. So whether you can do a Series B in the 1 to 2 million ARR range, or you need to be up in the 3 or 4 million ARR range, some of those things are variable. We don't know.
Yep. No, I agree with you. And then help me understand growth to date. So last 12 months, what'd you grow at? What percentage?
We only started landing our first customers during the last year. So
you were 0 a year ago.
We were a year ago close to 0. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay, good. So basically going from a million, 0 to kind of flirting with $1 million in ARR in under 12 months is pretty good.
Yeah.
That's great. Okay. And then, where do you think most of your future growth is going to come from to get up to $5 million in ARR? Expansion revenue or new customer adds?
Oh, we have to do both.
But the majority.
Yeah. I think it'll probably be about maybe 60 to 7, maybe let's call it 2/3 new and 1/3 in expansion revenue.
Okay.
A lot of it depends on the pace at which these accounts expand. And so some of them have substantial headroom, and whether it is a step function, they go from their sort of initial purchase to covering all of their SAP applications in one jump, or do they take 3 or 4 jumps over a period of several quarters remains to be seen. So,
and Ashok, this isn't your first rodeo, so you know how to like dial up aggressiveness or dial back aggressiveness. How aggressive are you being right now in terms of fully weighted CAC? Are you happy with the 12-month payback period?
12-month payback in terms of what? For the customer? You're talking about the customer?
Yeah. So to land a new $100,000 ACV account, are you willing to spend $100,000 to get that customer?
Yeah. I would say so.
Okay. So your payback period right now is around that 12-month mark?
Yeah, probably.
Okay.
We're not looking too closely at the CAC metrics right now because, as I said, we're still learning about the length of these enterprise sales cycles and what are all the different hoops that we have to jump through and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
So right now, our goal really is to sort of understand enough about all of these things to set us up for scaling.
Yep.
Once we get to that point, then we'll start tracking all of these metrics much more closely and start worrying about the cost of customer acquisition.
That makes sense. How'd you hustle your way to the first 2 customers? What'd you do?
Oh, the first couple were essentially from my network.
Okay. Can you tell a story of one of them?
Well, I can give you the example of Varian Medical, which was one of our early ones, and they were people. First of all, they're local, but I happened to know the former CIO, and I spoke to her about.
How'd you know her?
I got introduced to her just through people I know here in Silicon Valley.
Okay, at a prior company, or once you?
No, just sort of local network. Right?
Okay. And was there like a local like coffee meetup you go to every month where that happened, or it was just a random introduction?
No, in this particular case, it was an introduction. Yeah.
Okay. Did you target her? You knew that you wanted to sell to CIOs, and you asked someone for the introduction?
No, I knew I wanted to sell to CIOs. I was reaching out to several CIOs that I knew in my network. I was talking to somebody else and who offered, saying, "Hey, I know a couple of CIOs. Would you like to get introduced?" I said yes. He made the introduction. She liked what we were doing. She thought it had applicability to Varian, so she brought us in, introduced us to other people on her team. We started to work with them, went through a POC, and then signed them as a customer. And they were early, so when they did a POC, we hadn't even launched yet, so they were almost like a beta customer. So we got a lot of feedback. They actually gave us some excellent early product input, which was
that's great. And they're probably paying an old grandfather price. I bet you wish you could 3x the price point, huh?
They're getting a very good deal, believe me.
Yeah. All right, Ashok. Very good. Let's wrap up with the famous 5. Number 1, what's your favorite business book?
Oh my goodness. I guess I would have to say Crossing the Chasm.
Yep, Jeffrey Moore. It's a good one. Number two, is there a CEO you're following or studying?
I'm Jeff Bezos and Satya Nadella, I would say.
Number three, what billing tool do you guys use?
Billing.
Yeah, billing.
Right now, well, we use QuickBooks for our accounting. So,
Okay. Number four, how many hours of sleep do you get every night?
oh, I try to get about 6.5 to 7.
And what's your situation? Married, single, kids?
Married, kids who are both out of college. So
Two. So two.
two.
And how old are you, Ashok?
Well, I'm up there.
I asked that question because then I want you to go back to when you were 20 years old. What do you wish he knew?
Oh my goodness! I mean, at that age, I didn't know any. I graduated from college pretty early, so I graduated when I was 20. And if I think back, I look at my kids who have graduated from college and what they know compared to what I knew at the time. I think I'd have to say I knew nothing.
Well, what's something you wish you knew when you were 20?
I wish I knew how to start a company and run it and raise money and all of those kinds of things.
Guys, there you have it.
I wish I'd understood that picture better. In fact, when I started my first company, I was in my early 30s, and even then, I didn't understand that all that well.
Guys, understand how to launch a business. He wishes he knew that earlier on, but he's doing pretty well today. Now we're launching Fog Logic, servicing folks that are really using SAP applications to make sure things don't break down, or when they do, identify the errors so they don't happen again. Currently serving, call it 10 customers, paying $100,000 a year. So flirting with $1 million in ARR. That's up from nothing about a year ago. They just launched. So again, nice growth in year one. They've raised $7 million. They're burning capital right now. 32 people in California and Eastern Europe. It's too early to talk about unit economics, but generally speaking, he's happy with a 12-month payback period. Ashok, thank you for taking us to the top.
Thanks, Nathan.